we look at the underground cities of Derinkuyu and Kaymakli, Turkey. There are huge cities. They look like ant farms on an enormous scale, hundreds and hundreds of rooms. Huge efforts was put into digging deep beneath the earth and creating these shelters. And archaeology does not have a good explanation about what they're there for, or why they were built, or when they were built. They're all cut out of stone. You can only date objects that were left in them. You can't say when they were actually made. What makes sense of those underground cities to me is that they were built as places of refuge that people could go into during an episode of meteor bombardment during the Younger Dryas. Not as places to hide from an invading army. The last place you want to go if you have an invading army is to go hide underground. All they have to do is block up the entrances. They don't even have to fight you.
When they date objects that they find in these underground cities, what are the dates they find?
The oldest, 2,000 plus years ago, as homes in some cases. They were used by Christians, by Muslims. There's some evidence going back 2,800 years, but it's all from objects found inside them. And those objects don't tell us when the original work of cutting out these enormous structures, and it took an enormous will to create them. There's not just one, there's dozens of them.
What's the oldest object they find in there?
2,800 years plus.
Whoa. Carved into stone.
Yeah, it's cut literally out of the bedrock.
Wow.
You know? When you ask yourself what was the motive for creating something like this, the motive is clearly to hide from a danger from above, in my view. The two that I visited, Derinkuyu and Kaymakli, are joined by an 8-kilometer tunnel.
8 kilometers.
8 kilometers.
Dug out of stone.
Dug out of stone, the whole thing.
Wow. That's incredible.
You know, it's
How
just,
long would it take to complete something like this?
nobody's really done the calculations.
And that one shows a vent to the sky?
Yep, they have vents to the sky to allow air to come in. But you have to consider if you've got 10 or 15,000 people in there, they can't really stay in there much longer than about 2 or 3 weeks, which is about the time it takes to pass through the torrid meteor stream. Otherwise, you're going to get a huge amount of human refuse built up inside these. They're going to become inhospitable places. But if they're only to be used for 2 weeks at a time, then they're fine. They have air vents, they have water. They're incredibly well thought out.
There's water in there, or they store water in there?
They store water in there.
Wow.
And down below it, you
Whoa,
drill
look
deeper
at
and you
that.
come to wells.
That's incredible. Look at the sophistication of the construction, too.
So we're looking at a series of mysteries that are unexplained by archaeology, or that are explained in unsatisfactory ways. And what I've tried to do is to offer alternative explanations that make some kind of sense of the anomalies that we're looking at. There are just too many anomalies that are not explained by the mainstream theory.